Grades are important to UK universities, as you know. We know that in Brazil, it really is not an important issue, the number that you get in each individual class. Unfortunately, in the UK, we have a system where it is important what number you get in each individual class. So again, universities will look at the detail of your transcripts. They will look at how good your grades are in relevant subjects, okay? But don't worry, as I said, it's just, they will look at it, they will evaluate it. Don't panic, well, is my grade good enough or not? Just send in your document, they will tell you. And the good thing about British universities, again, is that we normally do things on a very individual basis, okay? So there is no black and white that this is good and this is not good, 3.0 or 2.9, or 96 and 95, or 8.0 and 7.9. We're not like that. We look at your references, we look at your transcript, we look at your personal statement, and we make a decision on an individual basis. So again, don't panic about it. Just realize that British universities will be looking at the numbers that you achieve in your university degree. No entrance examinations, no GRE, no GMAT. In most cases, maybe some MBA programs and some finance programs would ask for a GMAT, but it's very, very occasionally. So again, this is not the USA. The USA is a system where they operate general knowledge entrance exams. We don't operate that. And why? Because, again, what we want to know is that you're good at what you want to do. We don't really care about the general information. So if your program is philosophy or international relations, we're not that interested in your maths and physics performance. We're interested in the relevant subjects, and that's very important in the UK. Why do we only ask for your transcript? Because we want to know that you're good at what you want to do. We're not asking to show us general knowledge about all subjects, okay? And that's basically what the GRE and the GMAT tests are, more about general knowledge, to look at your general academic level. So that doesn't happen in the UK. So again, it's fairly easy. This is the message. Again, you need to be good at relevant subjects, that we just mentioned that. So again, we will look at the subjects in your degree connected to the program. No GRE. GMAT only for MBA and finance. Again, not every program will ask you. Maybe I would say 25% of MBAs and 25% of finance programs will ask for a GMAT score. And it's something, again, that you can do later. You don't have to do it immediately. A good thing, if you can, and I know that some universities will do this, if you ask your academic department, or if you ask your the bureaucratic department in charge, they can tell you what the grade was and also make a comparison with other students. It could be something that you could do with your reference, for example. So, for example, if you are one of the best students in your class, then again, what you can do, sorry about that, turn that off. What you can do is you can basically ask them to say, well, what position was I in my class, okay? So was I in the top 10%? Was I in the top 20%? And that is a useful indicator for British universities again. So any kind of information about how you compare with students is a good thing to do as well. Okay, that's fine. That's not... Okay. Yeah, for the visa, normally it's the degree certificate, normally, and it's the... can't turn this off. And it's the transcript. Okay, so those are the two documents that you need to be worried about when you do your visa application. Just two documents, and those are the main issues when you go to translate. Okay? So now is the perfect time to start. That's what I'm trying to encourage people to do, is to start now and to get your application as soon as you can. How many people here are looking to start in 2012? Okay, perfect. So now is a great time for this event. Most applications are done in January or February when it is really late in the day, and March or April when scholarships are difficult to find. So if you want to go in 2012 and you are finishing your degree before that time, then now is the best time to start. Most application forms are online, so again we can help you with that, but it's quite an easy process. Normally you don't have to do practical paper-based. Normally it takes about 4 to 6 weeks for a university to make a decision. Okay, it can be sooner. I like to go on the long side so you don't get stressed again if somebody doesn't reply soon, but most universities take around about 4 weeks to make a decision. Some can be sooner. A CV is useful. Not every university asks for a resume or a CV, a curriculum, but it is good again to do a curriculum to add to your documents. It's very simple, 1-2 pages again, making sure that it is a resume and not a long written document. And again, make sure, this is a simple thing as well, make sure your details are complete and correct. Many times, you don't put the full address. Some universities will send you documents by post. They still operate a system that you may, it may be guides to international life at the university. It will be useful documentation. So make sure again that your contact details are always correct and complete. Okay, we're nearly there. Just on the issue about PhDs, is anybody looking for a PhD? Okay, couple. So basically it's the same issue, but the only issue about a PhD or a research degree, not a standard kind of master's degree, is that the research proposal needs to be before everything else happens, basically. The key to a successful PhD is to identify and contact a potential supervisor for your PhD before you get all of the rest of the documentation. Because if you don't have contact with a possible supervisor before you go ahead, you could be wasting a lot of time getting all of the rest of the documents together. But if that potential supervisor is not interested or doesn't have capacity to take you on as a PhD student, as a doctoral research student, then as I said, it could be a waste of time. So what we normally do in the case of PhDs is we get as the student to make a very brief summary of their interest, maybe 1 or 2 pages, again, not a 20, 30 page document, but 1 or 2 pages, and their CV, and basically then we would send that to the identified professor and ask them for an opinion before sending the rest of the documentation. So again, for research-based programs, it's pretty much the same documentation that we just mentioned, references, transcripts, etc., but the added issue of the research proposal at the beginning, which you should try and do before everything else. Some universities do offer integrated options, so if you are interested in doing a PhD maybe after your master's, some universities do offer combinations where you do master's and PhD together, which is attractive, but again, it's not everywhere and it's only in certain subject areas. Okay, so we're pretty much done. So just to summarize, it's not a complicated system, it's pretty user-friendly, so there is no reason not to do it. That's my message. It doesn't matter even if you're not 100% sure that the UK is where you want to go. Maybe you want to go to the US, maybe you want to stay here, maybe you want to go somewhere else. It doesn't matter. At least make an application and then you have the option. If you don't make an application, you don't have the option. So it's not difficult to do. You don't need everything to start the process. As I mentioned before, you don't need the English language result before you start the process. You don't need your degree certificate to start the process. You don't need your final transcript to start the process, okay? So, again, there are lots of reasons to start now. Use our help and support. Please feel free to take a card and a leaflet at the end of this. I'm upstairs representing the Universities of York and Bristol, so please come and see me if you have any questions after this about any particular subjects that's been mentioned. And that's me, again. It's my email address, if anybody wants. And as I said, I've got cards here. In fact, perfect timing. I've just had the end signal. Unfortunately, it does mean that we won't be able to have any questions right now. But as I said, there's not a lot of people here. It's not super busy upstairs, so you can come and see me, and I'm sure in the next 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes we can resolve any questions that you have. Okay? So thanks very much for coming to the talk. And as I said, my message is just make an application. You've got nothing to lose. And I'm sure you've got everything to gain, because all of the students that we help have a fantastic time, not just academically. I've been focusing on academics because that's what the application system is all about. But obviously, making an international study program in the UK, which is an attractive destination, then you'll have a fantastic time. And I would bet 100% that you won't regret the decision if you choose to take it. So good luck, and thanks again.